Well, you know what that means, ladies and gentlemen? We are now live, and it is Wednesday night, hump day, and you are watching the Paranormal Portal. What's the date, Don?
What?
What's the date today?
Today is the 24th.
24th.
5/24/23.
Okay. Forgot to launch the ghost box, and I also forgot one other thing. Jeez. I'd forget my head if it weren't connected, but it is. All right, there we go. All right, so we are now fully connected and wired in, and I have the express track to fun here on the Paranormal Portal. And as you may have heard, I'm not alone here. I am, of course, tonight joined by my good friend and co-host, the big toe of the Paranormal Portal himself, Mr. Don Longbeard.
Wow. Something like that.
Your camera.
Wow.
Don, you're so tall.
Wow. I think I better fix that.
Yes. A little adjustment. Sorry.
Hold on. I got to get my cat balls out the way. Okay, hold on.
Don, you're hung like a kitten. That'll do.
All right.
There we go. Well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, we have a full boat of fun here lined up for you. Hopefully, we're going to wildly entertain you. At least that's always the objective out of the gate, and maybe we will. I don't know. You never know. But hope you guys have had a great week so far, and thanks for spending the mid-week with us because
hump day.
That's right.
Hump day.
That's right. And we've got the news coming up. We've got Discord question of the week. We've got some Matrix-like reality stories, and then we got a bunch of cryptid stories to read. So we got a ton of fun just waiting for you.
A ton of fun.
Ton of fun. That's
Even
right.
Though we're nowhere near a ton, but we're
a
lot of fun.
I don't know. Yeah, hopefully we're not near a ton. My God. I mean, I know I'm slimming down, or at least trying, but I'm actually sunburned on.
No, have you looked at me? I'm so sunburned, my highlights are standing out.
I thought you were just radioactive.
Radioactive.
You were just kind of glowing. It's Wednesday, my dudes. That's right, Mario. It's Wednesday. Finally, Brent's portal is open. My portal's always open for you guys. I'm sorry. It's like, when you're out picking apples and you just see the one hanging real low and you just take it. It's easy picking. Sorry. I don't usually head to the gutter right away. Hello to you, Taz. Good to see you.
That's my nickname.
One
hung low.
Don the gutter. Longbeard. Well, anyway, we've got a lot of things going on tonight, and hopefully we're going to, have a good time doing it. And, the phone lines will be open, so if any of you feel the urge to call in, the number is below my head and below Don's head, too, on your screen. So that is the numbers for fun here on the Paranormal Portal, and by God, you're free to call in if you choose. And if I notice, I'll answer it because that's been known to happen. I don't always catch every call, but I only have so much real estate here on the screens. So got to utilize it as well as I can. But Don, you know what's coming up, don't you?
Ray Stevenson died?
I didn't know.
Wow, a lot of people died this week.
Oh, thank you, Lucky Gypsy. Coming in with the $5.99. God bless you.
$5.99 for all you can eat. I'm going to stuff my face to a funky beat. Sorry. It's an old Fat Boys song.
I know. I knew I recognized it. Yeah.
It's actually $3.99, but whatever.
Well,
They were eating at Sbarro's. You can't help it.
Yeah. All right. So, God, I was going to do something. Oh, yeah, I remember what I was going to do. You know what's coming up, Don?
Oh, yeah. 3 weeks, huh? That one.
In just a couple weeks, 3 weeks, I guess. Yeah, as Don said.
Dude, I have the first 2 weeks of June for me is like so busy.
Well, and hopefully you'll be busy for some of you out there as well. If you are in the Spokane Valley neighborhood of Washington State, which is right next to Spokane, of course. And we'd love to see you because we're going to be at the Sasquatch Valley or the Spokane Valley Sasquatch Roundup that's happening at the Spokane Valley Event Center in Spokane, Washington. And this is happening June 17th, 2023. As you can see, all of those amazing people on your screen
yes, they will.
Are going to be there, including Don and I.
Woohoo!
I'm just telling you.
Aren't you emceeing the joint?
That's what I hear, unless Steven found someone with some talent. But so far I am.
Wow.
But in any case, Don and I and supposedly Sheldon's going to be there as well.
Oh, that'd be cool, yeah.
It's going to be the 3 paranormal amigos hanging out there. And all of you are all welcome to join us, of course. There's the event's happening from 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m., and there's a VIP dinner following at 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. And but for the VIP dinner, you got to buy the tickets in advance, and you can do that. Of course, you can buy all the tickets in advance. I think if you buy the VIP pass, it has the regular admission plus the VIP is how that works. But you can head over to exnorthwest.com. Again, that's www.exnorthwest.com. I'm going to zoom in and just show you. There's the web address.
Zoom away.
And just to let you know, Jeff Meldrum will be there, Dr. Jeff Meldrum.
Yeah.
Cliff Barrickman of Finding Bigfoot and Bigfoot and Beyond podcast will be there.
Yep, know him too.
Our friend Mr. Ken Gerhard will be there.
He's kind of cool.
He's a great guy. Ken's about one of the nicest guys you ever want to meet. I mean, he's just friendly. And Michael Freeman, who I haven't met, but I'm looking forward to meeting him. He's the son of Paul Freeman, of course, and he's a Bigfoot investigator, as was his father. So Michael Thompson, who is an author out of Alaska, who writes about Bigfoot and researching. And then Mr. Charles Howard Johnson, our very good friend, who is not only a paranormal investigator, but he is a Bigfoot investigator. So he's going to be there presenting as well. So it should be an epic day. Hope you guys take advantage of this and join us if you're able to. I don't think there's any streaming options for this. It's just kind of if you can be there, great, and if you can't, sorry you missed it. So
Mario said something about a flamingo shirt if he comes. They come.
Oh, a flamingo shirt?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll watch for flamingos.
Well.
We'll keep our eyes peeled.
Have you ever watched a flamingo's mating dance?
Nope, don't think I
It's
have.
actually kind of cool.
Okay. They look like Mick Jagger or something.
They all just kind of flock in the same directions all at the same time. It's amazing.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Does Don still have a big purple toe? No, my toe is not purple anymore, but it still hurts.
Does it really?
Yeah, it still hurts.
It was pretty dislocated, though, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, it was done. Yeah, it was. Yeah, that's what you get for slamming it into a wall at like 2:00 in the morning.
Yeah, you should try not to do that.
Yeah, it's one of those things I've kind of come to learn.
You'd think, although I'm questioning your learning curve because you've had toes pointing all kinds of different directions.
Twice this year, I've broke toes.
Yeah.
So Tina Turner did die today.
Okay. That's kind of newsworthy.
The guitarist for Earth, Wind, and Fire, I believe, did too.
Okay.
Wind and Fire. And Ray Stevens died last week. Superstar Billy Graham died. Oh my gosh, it's horrible. It's horrible.
Is he the evangelist?
No, Superstar Billy Graham. God, no.
Oh,
he was one of the ones that was originally accused in the WWE.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
but he had been around way before that. He was wrestling NWA for forever.
AWA, NWA, yep. Okay. All right, folks, well, let's get to some other news other than the Deadpool.
The Deadpool. Ryan Reynolds today.
Yeah. All right, let's head to some news and see what we can find out.
I thought I just gave the news.
You did.
All the news.
Rachel. See what Mario said?
I don't know.
He said,
put a bell on Don so you don't lose him at night. Jeez.
I'm only responsible for Don for 2 hours. After that, he's on self-reconnaissance or his own recognizance or whatever. I don't know the word. There's some word that has to do with that. Oh, thank you, Nancy. Thank you, brother. Hi, Miracles. Hope you're finding giggles abundantly and no ectoplasm in your underwear drawer. Oh, I'm glad you said drawer.
Okay. Or does he mean drawers?
I'm not doing your last part, Nacy. I don't care I don't care how much you donate. That's not happening.
Tickle me, Donnie.
All right. Yeah, that's not going to be a plushie available anytime soon.
Oh, I'll be a blushy.
The tickle me, Donnie. Good God.
Wow.
All right. Jeez. Welcome to our bad marketing segment.
Oh, man. Okay.
The Darwin Awards for bad products.
Right?
Tickle me, Donnie. It'll be great.
Don't touch my toe.
Yeah, it comes with sideways big toe.
Man, if that wasn't funny, I'd give you a piece of my left toe. Jeez.
I think that's probably, you got to scrape it off your wall.
I would love to have a Funko Pop. That would be cool. I would love to have a Funko
How
Pop.
freaking random can you be?
Well, no. RJ Windwalker said a Don Funko Pop.
A Funko Pop? Is that one of those?
Those big-headed...
Oh, I thought you were talking like you wanted a popsicle or something. I'm like, what the hell?
Popsicle work too right now. Like, okay.
I might be able to accommodate that, actually. But I'll buy a Brent plush if he says so, boy. In my Homer voice? Yeah, except I get sued by the Simpsons creators, I'm sure. But I like the way you're thinking.
Hasn't stopped you before.
Well, they haven't noticed us yet, I'm sure is more like it.
Just shut the hell up. She says a Funko toe.
Should make a bearded big toe. It's the Don action figure. Throw it against the wall and it gets bigger.
Wow.
Oh, against like a toe. A
Just
toe.
call me Donnie Wallbanger.
Oh. All right, let's move on while we still got a show to salvage as we're currently circling the drain. All right, I've pulled up some news articles for your enjoyment and to hopefully regain our sanity a little bit. The first one up is coming from a site that you all know and love, and I know and love, and it's unexplained-mysteries.com. Please support this site, guys. It's an amazing site. They do a wonderful job. I can't speak highly enough of them. I just love this site. And here's the article. It's having to do with the UFO phenomena. Unexplained-mysteries.com reports dozens of Marines witnessed UFO over military base back in 2021. Yep. I don't know what it is with the military bases, Don. UFOs love to hang out by military bases. Yeah. Do you think it's kind of a, like flipping them the cosmic middle finger? Like you can't do anything about it.
Not with a picture like that. It's a TR-3B.
Yeah, that's the military potato cam.
Exactly.
One of several images gets military. Is this the best they got, really? All right, new footage has emerged of a silent triangle that was observed by Marines stationed at military base in California.
It took off from their base.
Maybe, huh? The incident, which was brought to light in a recent episode of Jeremy Corbell's Weaponized podcast, occurred in the 29 Palms military base, California, back in 2021. Several dozen Marines came outside to watch and film the phenomena as it hovered silently over the Marine Corps Air Ground Combat Center in Camp Wilson for around 10 minutes. We all came out and looked, and these lights appeared out of nowhere, said one of the Marines. People were just kind of baffled. Nobody could recognize it. The soldiers were adamant that the lights were not flares, noting that they were familiar with what flares look like.
Gee.
You'd think they would be, yeah. And this was definitely something else. And this was something none of us had ever seen before. Another one of the Marines said, you can check out the footage for yourself below as part of the podcast. The clip starts around 42:20 on the video. I'm not going to show that because I don't want to.
That's Jeremy Corbell.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That's probably
he probably knows MIBs.
Yeah, could be. All right, I'm gonna paste this link in the YouTube chat though. Hold on, there we go. So you guys can check it out if you so choose. After the show, of course, you just open a link and just pause it, and you can check it out after. So yeah, I mean, if that's an image from the film, that doesn't look like flares, does it, Don?
No.
It's kind of asymmetrical, which is a little weird.
Yeah, the lights are a little odd, but there is definitely a triangle there.
Yep.
But, I mean, if it's a TR-3B,
yeah, right.
What if they manipulate their lights? Right?
Sure.
So
Maybe.
That's why they don't know what it is. We don't know what it is.
Or is that the propulsion? Is that the EM field?
The EM field.
Maybe. Who knows?
The gravity piercer.
The anti-grav manipulation fields. I don't know. Anyway, it's beyond me. It's out of my pay grade. And it looks pretty convincing. Whatever it is, I'm sure they saw something anomalous. Question is a great question, Don. Are they ours or are they theirs?
Exactly. Hey, Maggie says that our show's boring. She's going to fall asleep.
What?
Oh, it says, if I disappear, I've fallen asleep. Yeah, see?
Oh, I think...
Oh, it says no reflection on the show. I just didn't see much. Well, if I fall asleep sitting here, it's no reflection on the show either. Because I didn't sleep very well last night either.
Yeah.
So,
well,
we'll be napping together in a proverbial way.
That's okay. Little does Don know that I have the wall mechanism rigged underneath the desk, and if he falls asleep,
it'll hit me in the big toe.
It'll smack his big toe and wake him right
coming.
up.
Yep, I saw
Happens all the time in his home, so figure it's a good sleep deterrent here on the show.
Well, it doesn't help that the dog lays in the middle of the floor at 2 o'clock in the friggin' morning either.
That's probably true.
God.
Of course, they are trainable, I think.
Not this one. It's a boxer.
Oh, okay. Are they not smart?
The only thing you can do to train a boxer to do is clean your floor after you've cooked.
Oh, yeah. I kind of missed that about my German Shepherd.
Did you find the deathbed confession?
Huh?
Naysay said...
Oh, no, I didn't. You didn't send me a link. You were supposed to send me... Well, we talked about it. I could have searched it. I didn't remember to because when I talked to you, I wasn't even at home, Naysay. I was out and about, so I never did recall to do that. But thank you. I will make a note of it because it does sound pretty interesting. It's apparently there's a deathbed confession by a MIB.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Deathbed confession from MIB.
Oot and a boot. We're not Canadians. We're North Idahoans. There's no oot and a boot.
We're North Idahoans, eh?
Eh? Hey, Hosa.
We're like Canada Light, eh?
Oh, that's better than Bud Light.
Oh, Don.
What?
Jeez. Injured soldier woke up to find that he could see the world in reverse is the next article.
Well, yeah.
Up on unexplained-mysteries.com. I don't even know what that means. What do you mean see the world in reverse? Is it like like a reverse image, or what is he talking about? Let's find out.
Inception kind of stuff?
Yeah. The case of a Spanish soldier who survived after being shot during the Civil War has intrigued experts for years. What Civil War?
The Civil War.
Ours? Okay.
After being shot, the Spanish Civil War.
Oh, okay. The 25-year-old who was referenced in records only as patient. What is that? Patient M. I thought it was Roman numerals. I don't have my glasses on. Was hospitalized after being shot in the head during the Spanish Civil War in 1938. Wow. Incredibly, despite the fact that the bullet clearly passed straight through his head and out the other side, the soldier actually survived the ordeal. Wow. Mm-hmm. But what made the case particularly interesting was the fact that upon waking up, he found that everything was now backward. According to neurologist Dr. Justo Gonzalo Rodriguez Leal, that's a lot of names for one person.
Yep.
Jeez. Who documented the case at the time, patient M had lost much of his eyesight, and what little of it remained seemed to be in reverse, with people and objects appearing in the opposite side of his field of vision.
Oh, okay.
He could read numbers and letters both forward and backward while perceiving things in duplicate or triplicate, with colors sometimes appearing outside the objects to which they belonged. In one case, he described seeing men walking upside down on a scaffolding, while in another, he was able to read a newspaper with ease, regardless of which way around it was.
So basically, he had the first iPhone.
He remained the subject of medical intrigue for many years, and despite the injury he sustained, lived for several decades until his death in the 1990s. Wow. Way to roll, brother. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Passed right through his head.
Right through his head, and he lived. I mean, usually a headshot is a done deal. It's like, well, game over.
Especially in 1930 what?
1938.
38?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's a long life.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Okay. Well, there you go. I bet you didn't know that before today. You're welcome, because that's what we bring you on this news. All right, let's get to the next article. We've only got three more, I guess. Three more. They take a while with all of our segues into ridiculous stuff.
No. Yeah, that's called the show.
That is the show. It's not like we have another plan. Next up.
It's not like we have any plan.
Yeah, actually, no. Yeah, this is absolutely unscripted and unrehearsed. So
congratulations, Chucky. Everybody deserves a raise every now and then. Woo woo.
You got a raise?
You got a raise.
All right. Congratulations. Give you half an applause there.
That's because he was the only. Never mind.
No. It's just I want to get to the news done. Here we go. From unexplained-mysteries.com comes the next article, and this is a 7-year-old fashion designer claims to be the reincarnation of Gucci.
Oh my goodness.
Why not? Gucci could be reincarnated.
Okay. Well, yeah, anybody can be reincarnated, I guess.
Right.
Deathbed confessions from MIBs can happen too, right?
That's true. Well, I haven't heard about it, but it sounds. I mean, I've heard about it from Naysay, but it sounds really interesting. Max Alexander started designing dresses when he was just 4, and believes he is the reincarnation of Guccio Gucci. The guy's name is Guccio Gucci.
Guccio.
Huh?
Guccio.
How do you know it's Guccio?
Because it makes sense to me.
Oh, Gucci is CC though. That's ch. All right. Gucci. I don't know. We'll just mix them up. Reincarnation stories involving young children who possess inexplicably detailed memories of a former existence have been around for years, but this is the first time we've heard of someone who claims to be the reincarnation of a famed fashion designer. Yeah, everybody's like, some king or royalty. From the early age, 7-year-old Max Alexander exhibited an unusual level of interest in fashion design to the extent that he even asked his mother to get him a mannequin. We were at dinner during the lockdown, and he just literally announced, "I need a mannequin," she told People magazine. He was serious, no laughing. I was like, "Okay, I've seen you were interested in fashion. What are you talking about?" He said, "That's because I don't have a mannequin." What? Okay, I've seen you're interested in fashion. What are you talking about? ? He said, "That's because I don't have a mannequin. If you get me a mannequin, I'll show you." Oh, okay. Gotcha. He just started making dresses. It was the craziest thing. I ran and got my husband, and I was like, "Come out of your office. You have to see what Max is doing. It's crazy." Compounding the mystery is the fact that the youngster had never been exposed to fashion design beforehand, meaning that he had seemingly taught himself all the skills and knowledge. So could he really be the reincarnation of Guccio Gucci, or is there another explanation? You decide. Well, where did the name Gucci come into this? Is he claiming it?
Yeah.
Is he claiming that he's Gucci, or they just said, "Well, he likes fashion, he must be Gucci"? You know what I mean? And believes. I guess he must believe it.
But this is the first time we've heard of someone who claims to be
a famed fashion designer. Yeah,
so
I mean,
it sounds like the kid's claiming it.
Right, that Gucci. Okay, well, cool. I guess great talent like that should be around, coming back and getting back to work. I guess I don't know.
So Ron the Sage pops in and says, "I got a steel brace put in my neck today to fix my neck." Wow.
Oh, hey Ron, you're a podcast.
Yeah,
one,
we
right?
just released your podcast.
I sent you an email. I don't know if you got it, but yeah. It's doing wonderful. Thank you.
Wow. Yeah, but dang.
I hope you're okay, man.
Yeah.
That's scary stuff. I hope your neck is going to be better now. That's creepy. I mean, if it's good, if it's a good step for you, then I'm happy. But man, I've personally had a bunch of surgeries, and every time I hear about surgeries, I just cringe.
I couldn't imagine having something like that in my neck. That'd freak me out. But hey. I hope it helps.
Yeah, if it increases your quality of life, that's awesome. Mm-hmm. But take care of yourself, brother. That's I don't know what that even means. That's wild. There you go. Next article. Let's get to that. All right. And this one is one more after this one too, and then we're going to be done with the news. This one is from unexplained-mysteries.com as well.
Oh, this is interesting.
Right?
Well, the year.
Yeah, I know.
So I'm reading this book that happens in that year.
Oh, is that right?
I'll tell you a little bit more when you're done reading.
All right, from unexplained-mysteries.com. Why did Isaac Newton believe that the world would end in 2060? I didn't know he did, but let's read more. I don't know. Is this long? No, it's okay. The celebrated physicist revolutionized our understanding of gravity, but he also had a few more out there ideas. Newton, whose laws of motion and gravitation would go on to dominate our understanding of the physical universe for several centuries, is also known to have kept extensive notes on several alternative subjects, including alchemy, the precursor to modern chemistry, and biblical apocalypse theory, which concerned predictions of the end of the world. Many of his writings concerning the latter were never meant to be seen by anyone else, but they provide an intriguing window into some of his personal spiritual beliefs through his thought process, rather. They, among other things, reflect his attempts to predict when the world would end based on his Protestant understanding of the Bible. In one series of notes, he concluded that in 2060 it was a possible date for the apocalypse, more specifically the end of an era of Earth's history. And it says, Prop 1, 2300 prophetic days did not commence before the rise of the little horn of the he-goat. Number 2, those days sick. What does sick mean anyway?
I don't know.
I've always wondered that. Does not, if any of you know, please help me out. I see sick all the time, and I don't know what the hell that means. I'm not the most literary person, just for the record. Did not commence after the destruction of Jerusalem and the temple of the Romans by the Romans, AD 70. Number 3, the times and half a time did not commence before the year 800, in which the Pope's supremacy commenced. And number 4, they did not commence after the, what is that? This is hard as hell to read. Reign. Oh, yeah, reign of Gregory the 7th, 1084. Number 5, 1290 days did not commence before the year 842. Number 6, they did not commence after the reign of Pope Greg 7th, 1084. Again. And the difference, between 1290 and 1335 days are a parts of the 7 weeks. Therefore, the 2300 years did not end before a year 2132, nor after 2370. The times and half time do not end before the 2060, nor after 2344. I don't know what the hell I'm reading, dude. I've got a headache. Newton was convinced that Christ would return around this date to establish his global kingdom of peace, wrote Professor Stephen D. Snowbellen of the University of King's College in Halifax. Babylon, the corrupt Trinitarian church, would also fall and the true gospel would be preached openly. Oh, there you go. I don't know. I didn't know this side of Newton. And obviously it hasn't been spoken about too much, but I don't know. You could be right. I don't pretend to know what the hell's coming.
Right.
I don't even know what I'm doing tomorrow, to be honest with you.
Well, I'm just worried about having clean underwear.
Good call. Okay. All right.
So I'm reading these books that a nuclear war happens in 2060.
Oh, yeah.
So
You mentioned
crazy, yeah. It's just,
I don't know. Hope not.
Luna Moonicorn says it means that they're quoting something with spelling errors in the original text. So the errors are not theirs, but the original author.
Oh, very cool. Thank you, Luna. I appreciate that. Yeah, now I know. All this time I'm reading, what the hell's sick? I don't even know what that means, and I just carry on. I've been told, by the way, in more recent news, somebody criticized me drinking from a bottle and how obnoxious that sounds. So I'm going to try to remember to use tumblers or something that has a straw. I know, right? It's like...
Did you hit the bubbler?
I sloshed that one around good. I got a wet face. No offense.
Luna Moonicorn must be a librarian because she's librarian cool. Power. Did you ever watch The Librarian? That was a great set of movies and show. That was awesome.
Nope. I didn't.
What Brent do you do?
Huh?
What Brent do you do? I don't know. Be more. Sick means the word is possibly spelled wrong or quoted. But quoted exactly as stated. Gotcha. Okay. Well, that. We
both learned something today.
There you go.
I like this.
Thank you, Cecil. Thank you.
Appreciate this, Cecil and Luna. Appreciate it bunches. You guys are educating us.
That's very illiterate. Luna Moonicorn.
Yeah. All right. Here's one having to do with the Beast of Bray Road, of course, our dear and wonderful friend, Mrs. Linda Godfrey, who passed away not too long ago. The world misses her always, but thank God for her body of work. She was a phenomenal person, and she appeared on the show several times. And she was the greatest interview. She was just so sweet and nice and kind.
Oh, I know. She what? When? She what?
She passed. You knew that, didn't you?
When?
About 6 months or so ago.
Wow.
Yeah. You didn't know that? I'm sure we talked about it.
I'm probably pretty sure we did.
Okay. Don's just dealing with not a lot of sleep. But anyway.
Not a whole lot.
Beast of Bray Road mystery still endures in southern Wisconsin. Yeah, our friend Mr. Eric Mintel goes over there and checks it out with Mr. Lee Hempel.
Lee Hempel, yeah.
Who was also on the show with Linda.
Yeah.
I think it was we had the first interview with Lee ever.
Right.
When he came out and showed us his trail cam pictures, which were really fascinating. All right, so a large bipedal wolf-like creature has reportedly been sighted in and around Walworth County for years. Pretty much everyone has heard of Bigfoot, Chupacabra, and the Loch Ness Monster, but in Wisconsin there exists a much more obscure cryptozoological enigma. I don't think it's much more obscure anymore.
No, I don't think so either.
That you may have never heard of at all. It's known as the Beast of Bray Road. Well, yeah, that specific moniker, but it's Dogman. Anyway, but this particular denizen has been described as a large bipedal werewolf that is said to roam the wilds of Walworth County. While no definitive evidence of his existence has ever been found, there are various witness testimonies, and some researchers even claim to have found the beast's footprints. A local news report detailing the legend can be viewed below. Yeah, I'm not going to do that because I don't want to give up what little monetization we have.
It's just for this episode.
All right, let's just watch it. This is apparently from the NBC affiliate 15 News.
There you go.
So let's check it out.
All right, Wisconsin is home to many urban legends, spooky stories maybe, but there's one here in southern Wisconsin that you may be familiar with. It is the Beast of Bray Road. This weekend, a large celebration taking place to update people on the very latest on this search for this mythological creature. And to talk about that today, we have Diane Beeson. We also have Donna Wells-Fink here with us as well. Tell us about the Beast of Bray Road. What is it, Diane?
Well, the legend of the beast goes back many, many decades, almost 100 years, but it was brought to light in the 90s by Linda Godfrey, who was a journalist for a small local paper, and she started taking reports on the beast. And it just kind of kicked off a whole thing. The more she talked about it, the more people called in with reports and sightings and all that sort of thing. And she wrote several books, and one of them was titled The Beast of Bray Road. And it is a large wolf that will walk upright on its back legs, and there's not just one of them, there are many.
Really?
And yeah, there's a lot of sightings, a lot of reports, and people have seen 2, 3, 4 of them at a time. And yeah, it's
So it's like Wisconsin's Bigfoot, essentially.
exactly.
Right?
Well, Wisconsin has its own Bigfoot.
Tell us about what you have here.
I have Jackie and I, another investigator with me.
Yeah.
This past winter, found a 3-toed print by the marsh.
Okay.
Excuse me. And he has 1, 2, 3 toes, and you can see that his foot is this big.
Yeah.
So it's pretty big. And we found it by the marsh where he likes to hang out.
Okay.
And he also hangs out other places on Lee Hempel's farm, which is adjacent to Bray Road.
Okay.
Yep.
And Bray Road is where people know the beast to be from.
Right.
But it's also, when Lee first moved in or opened his farm there, an older lady right next door said, you know, the werewolf lives on the back of your property. And he knew nothing about
Really?
it. No, and then he...
Can you imagine the surprise?
He actually saw the beast not too long after that,
Okay.
a couple of years, and he's seen it twice, actually. And
Okay, well, that's enough.
Yeah,
Anyway.
that's good enough. Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom. Portal Mom just come in?
Yep.
She's late?
No, she wasn't late. She's fashionably whatever she wants to be. She's Portal Mom.
Ah, that's true. Portal moms are never early nor late. They arrive precisely when they mean to. Yeah. Of course. Well, there you go, folks. And this has been a production of the Paranormal Portal News. What did she say?
No. Luna Monocore says, if you shush a librarian, does a tear appear in the space-time continuum? Sorry.
It very well might. All right. That's going to wrap up the news. So let's get back to the rest of the show. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. The rest of the show is just waiting for you. Don, you realize my face is going to be peeling pretty soon? I'm going to be molting.
I would imagine Mrs. Portal says your face is very appealing.
Oh, well, God bless her. You gave yourself a round of applause.
I'm the only one who can.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I got sunburned. I went fishing.
And fishing?
I did on Sunday, and we caught a bunch of rainbow trout. But
Yeah.
man, that sun was bright.
Did you smoke them? What?
No, I didn't smoke them.
I'd smoke the hell out of them and just put them with sour cream. Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, it's okay. Welcome back, Don. You went to a happy place.
Yeah, food.
Just started salivating.
So on Saturday, Paisley and I went to the Newport Ren Fair.
Oh, nice. How was it?
It was sunny and bright and Bernie.
Oh, very much.
Yeah, very much so.
What was that, Saturday or Sunday?
This is Saturday, yeah.
Yeah, I went on Sunday, so it was sunny and Bernie too.
Yeah, so.
But I got better. Sorry about the crackly water.
Quit it with the water, would you?
I know.
Gosh, that's so annoying.
I've been told that before a long time ago. I was like, well,
Jeez.
I don't know. It's better than me coughing
What
all over
are
the
ya?
place. I'm an amateur. I'm an amateur broadcaster that's been at it for 7 years. But yeah, I just don't learn. Anyway, it is time, ladies and gentlemen, for another segment of the show that we just love doing. This is our Discord server.
Elevensies?
Huh?
Elevensies?
Are you thinking about food again?
Well,
You hobbit?
it's actually Mario's fault.
Mario's.
Mario says, I can't wait for third breakfast.
All right, since we're in the Hobbit land. But we are going to start the segment.
Big toes, you knows.
Yeah. Segment having to do with the Discord question of the week, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, that segment.
Let's get into it.
Rawr.
It's time, ladies and gentlemen, for the Discord question of the week, and this is dealing with our Discord server. I didn't put the link in there, did I? Oops. I'm going to pin it in there quick to join the Paranormal Portal Discord. Not crod, cord. It is https://discord.gg/paranormal portal. Boom, and then I'll pin it to the top just in case. Whoops, almost pinned someone else's comments. Something else. Okay, yeah, I got it. That's fine. That message can just go away now. There it goes. Because Batman said, hi, Brent. Hi, Don. Hi, all. Good to see you. Thanks for coming in. Actually, we should do some shout-outs, Don.
Do some shout-outs.
Shout out, man.
Like people who may be like chatting in the chat room.
That's exactly who I mean.
Participants. We've got B. Mora, Batman, Naysay, Cecil Webb Jr., thank you for the kind words. Chucky Danger, nice job. Eliza, Jessica Mink, hi Jess. John Stevenson, Jordan Cogburn, Luna Moonicorn, Maggie M10, Mario, Nathan Nate, Portal Mom, RJ Windwalker, Rachel Gets It Right, and the Grumpy Owl, Ron the Sage, and let's see, Farm was here earlier, so...
Gnome Squatch is here.
Gnome Squatch? Wow.
Yeah, that's a newer name.
That's a new name. Yeah.
It might just be a rebrand,
That's
but
true. That's true.
but it's good to see you, Gnome Squatch.
I
Thanks.
need a rebrand every now and then, too. Oh, my gosh.
You'll always be the big toe.
Yeah, like I said, a rebrand.
Yeah. You don't like being the big toe.
Oh, there's Chris.
But Jordan Cogburn said, these guys are so funny. I haven't been here in a while and I forgot.
K-Love.
Well, I'm glad you like it, Jordan. K-Love's here.
K-Love.
How you doing, K-Love? Portal Mom, of course.
Yep.
And you got Luna and B. Mora.
Of course I said.
Okay. Oh, it looks like
Gosh, and Chris.
I've been around forever. I don't know. I'm sorry if I forget. I'm kind of like maybe in the early stages of dementia or something. When it comes to names especially,
It's not early.
Oh, it's pretty well advanced, apparently. I just didn't remember.
You know what's funny is we were sitting. Hi, Taz. I was just thinking about you a little bit ago because Mr. Brent over there was talking about something.
Yeah, I said, welcome to the good to see you, Taz, at the beginning of the show.
No, that was like, no, something else. Okay. No, you were saying something about somebody's knocking. I don't know. Yeah, now I'm totally off track. I have no idea what the hell I'm saying.
Well, let's go to the Discord question of the week, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll talk
Jody.
about tonight's question. Are you all ready for that, Don?
Did I say Rachel gets it right? Did I say Rachel? Hi, Rachel.
Rachel is
Shout
here.
out to Rachel and Jody.
Elaine came in.
Elaine. Oh, hi, Elaine.
Yep.
There you go. Oh.
They're still coming. Too much sunny makes you funny.
Oh, God, yeah. Smoking buns.
I've only got a little limited amount of working gray matter as it is, and I'm not sure ultraviolet radiation is real good for it.
I don't think it's so.
Are you going to read it or am I?
Oh, I can certainly do that. It's got something to do with skinwalkers, which is an interesting question.
Yeah, I kind of stole it. I actually was browsing around on Facebook, and I saw Lauren C. Cole as somebody who was on my friends list, and she asked questions to her group, and I was like, oh, that's a good question.
Oh.
I'm going to steal it, but I gave her credit. You know, it's not like I acted like it was my idea.
It's true.
I did think it was a good question, though.
Yeah, absolutely. It says, I'm kind of ripping this one off from a Facebook page of someone, Lauren C. Cole, for anyone interested, but I think it's a great question. Skinwalkers are commonly believed to be a Native American shaman that can change form from human to animal and then back again. Do you believe this is possible? Mm-hmm. That's crazy with all the stuff we've read, brujas and things like that.
Right.
ZX81 version 2. Changelings are known about by all races, those with the power to morph between human and animal. An anime. We don't understand most things in this life, so never rule out anything, because you usually get proved wrong at a later date. Yeah, that's happened. How many stories of humans turning into deer and stags running through the forest? Skinwalkers, just one of these different nations' versions. Mm-hmm. Mario, no, I believe they could be an alien species that landed here a long time ago with the ability to mimic other life forms. And I have a feeling they have been here longer than we think. Brent, great job on the show. Never fails to make me laugh. Wow.
Nice. Mario always ends his comments with a good pick me up. I appreciate that,
well,
brother.
It looks like he edited that in, though.
Either way, as long as it's delivered, it makes me smile.
ZX81 version 2 also says, what you see and what's actually there are two different things in some situations. Actually, if you think about the persistence of vision, you only see in about 24 to maybe 30 frames per second when a dog sees closer to 100 frames per second. They see a lot more than we do. Wow. That's why they're always doing that weird stuff.
But we get to do it in color.
Big deal. They can tell the future. Let's see. Mario says, no, I already said that. Thank you, Mario, by the way. Chucky Danger. In the Bible, there is a specific tribe of people that God commands to wipe out every man, woman, and child, and even the animals. It's thought that this tribe were shapeshifters, and that was the reason to totally destroy all life in that village. Just an example of one of the oldest recorded accounts.
Wow.
Absolutely, yes, it's possible, says Brenda Joe. There are so many strange things we do not comprehend in this world. I think that the Native Americans understand and believe in these kinds of things more than the rest of us. Yes, absolutely. And there are so many things. It's weird. Batman says no, though. Mm-hmm. Well,
Sure.
There we go. Says, okay, let me think about this. Okay, no. All right. Caleb says, yes, I think it can be both human hybrids and alien related. Is that Celtic Thorned Rose? I don't see why not. There's so much in this world we don't know about or understand. I feel we as humans have more abilities than we think. Well, yeah. Lake Fairy Files. Wow, that's a new name, too.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Celtic Thorned Rose is a new name to me, too. Lake Fairy Files. Wow. I said it right the first time.
You did great.
Lake fairies do fly, by the way.
Yeah.
Yes, I believe it's possible. I also believe there are a lot that we don't know or understand in the spiritual realm of both good and evil. So do skinwalkers exist? I personally have no proof, but I've seen things I cannot explain.
Good point. Yeah.
Just here and there, 66. Yes, I do. The legend is very Native American folklore, and the stories are reported every year. That's true. Yeah, absolutely.
So what do you think, Don?
I think, it's one of those things, you know, it ranks right up there with Dogman, though. So let's make sure that we're separating skinwalkers and Wendigo. Two separate things. From what I understand, a skinwalker is First Nations.
Oops. Hold on. Hold your thought. I didn't mean for that to come up
Well,
yet.
I'm not done yet. I'm not
No,
done
no, I know.
yet.
I was just going back to the camera of us. So keep going.
You know, as far back as I can remember, I've always been told that you know, the First Nations were had legends of skinwalkers and people who could put on the skins of animals and take on those aspects of the animal, whether it be a bird or whatever. Owls are very common in that as well as foxes and wolves and coyotes, specifically a lot of coyotes, a lot of owls as well, falcons, birds of prey in general, eagles have all been reported as shapes that these First Nations peoples can take. Probably shamans, hopefully not the Bruja style, but you know, shamans.
But Bruja is another example.
Bruja is another example, yeah, and
of a
that's
shape-shifting.
exactly, yeah, exactly. And so, you know, I think they all kind of fall into the same spot, but the Bruja are more of the, as I understand it, the evil ones that can do it.
Yeah, but skinwalkers are largely regarded as evil too.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think so. I read this book one time. I read a lot of friggin' books. It was written from the Native American perspective, the First Nations perspective about specifically coyotes, because, yeah, they're mischievous and they're tricksters, but they're a breath of fresh air. They're not malicious.
Sure. Okay.
So things like that. But and then, you know, you talk about owls being wise people, people with knowledge, things like that. So yeah, I think it's I love the idea. I love the imagery and the thought, and because I think in pictures, so it's always really cool to think about these things. But sure, why not? Yeah, I can go for it. I could believe that. Absolutely.
Yeah, I guess it kind of boils down to, you know, we have a very concrete idea of reality.
Right.
We really do.
That hubris.
Yeah, exactly. It's huge hubris. And if anything, the paranormal constantly shows us that we don't understand the entire dynamics of what's going on here. When you have something move, when nobody's touching it or acting on it in any way, it's just suddenly, you know, throws itself across the room. Well, that defies our understanding of reality in a quick hurry. I think, you know, when you break it down, obviously this is basic, you know, physics and such, but everything in its most fundamental state is energy. Mm-hmm. I mean, there is no real matter as we come to understand it. Everything is just a matter of, you know, electrons and things repulsing and repelling, and can they be manipulated? Is consciousness able to manipulate that? Well, if you look at the double slit experiments, apparently the observer creates the expectation and creates the reality. That when it's observed, basically they're firing photons through two slits, if you're not familiar with it.
Right.
And they were curious to see if it behaved as a particle or a wave. When nobody was observing it, it behaved like a wave. It was like hitting both openings at the same time and hitting the receptor on the other side. When it was directly observed, it changed and behaved as particles, and it either went through one of the two slits and hit the receiver on the other side. And that was, I think, an incredibly breathtaking example of how we do affect reality as an observer. And maybe that's the fact that we have expectations.
Right.
It transforms the reality that we have. So we in our Western thinking have a very concrete idea of reality, but that doesn't mean that we can represent the entirety of reality. Now, it is a big stretch to think, you know, could I become a wolf or a stag or any, you know, a bird? You know, obviously I'd be flightless, but Because I need like 50 feet of wings
like
to
a bowling pin in a tuxedo.
Either that or I'd have to have like hummingbird wings that were just cooking to get me off the ground.
Boy,
But
if that was the way, I could fly to Europe back in about an hour. I've got lots of reserve.
yeah, you'd get there and you'd be like 130 pounds.
Exactly.
It would be like 12 days of cardio. But anyway, my point is that we just don't understand everything. But it is true. I do have a hard time breaking this down and making it make sense, but I can't ignore the fact that there are generations. There is hundreds or thousands of years of people observing just this happening. And so what does that mean? Does that mean I'm right because I can't get my head around it? Or does it mean I'm probably have something to learn? So I think it is possible. I think there is really still magic in the world, quote unquote, but it's just because it's dynamics that we don't currently understand.
Right. Rachel just reminded me of something I wanted to say when I was reading that. I forgot to say it, but she says, this is what reminded me. I've got an old kid's book about a family that uses a fox skin belt to turn into a fox called the werefox.
Oh.
If I find it, I'll put it in Discord. Now, here's the thing about that, though, because there is a German myth that says you could have a wolf pelt that was made into a belt, and as you wore it, you would basically be a wolf.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of stories like that through German mythology and things like that, German Scandinavian things like that.
Right.
So the werefox, that was probably based on some kind of knowledge about that particular myth about the beast belt, if you will. That was something I wanted to bring up. RJ Windwalker says something about just simply says owls no good. So maybe my idea of the owl wear is something different than what maybe the traditions say.
Well, there's an old concept in magic, and it's I don't know if it's widely understood. I think people hear it all the time, but there's two kinds of summonings. One is called an evocation, and one is called an invocation. An evocation means to bring something into reality, and that it can have a presence in an area, like summoning a spirit or a guardian of some kind, that you're evocating it to be in a place, and and generally there's a binding or whatever that's applied after that. But an invocation means to bring it into yourself, and it's utilized a lot, even on a very, I don't mean to cross lines here, but it's utilized a lot even in training, because people always talk about visualization. How visualization is powerful to get you to push past your limits. Well, it's almost like a light form of invocation that you invoke, the idea that I'm stronger, I'm faster, and your body becomes that. Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, we get a call from our very own Mr. Nace. We probably should get to that.
There we go.
All right, but let's keep it, because I'm pretty sure he's probably commenting on this.
Probably.
All right, Mr. Nace, you're on the air. What's going on?
Hey there. Excuse me. One sec. I got to take a drink.
I'll join you.
Okay. So.
Okay, go ahead.
So I just wanted to share, because I care, being Paleo-American of the Anishinaabe people. French call this Ojibwe, English call this Chippewa. But in our legends or fables or mythos or whatever you want to label it, semantics, there were entities that would or could utilize animals in a sort of negotiation. So willingly or unwillingly, an individual could more or less take over an animal and see through its eyes and experiences the senses of the animal. But then the other extreme is the other ones that are able to manipulate the fields and actually shapeshift into said animals. And the last other one is that when Native Americans used to go hunting, they would put on the skins of animals to help cover up the smell of humans. So this would allow them to get closer to what they're hunting. And back in the day, pioneers, they would see like wolves, because this was a common skin they would put on, was the skins of wolves. And so the pioneers would shoot the wolves thinking they were sneaking up on their cattle or sheep or whatnot, and then they would kill them. And then they would go up and see a dead Indian, and not wanting to get in trouble. Well, you didn't get in that much trouble for shooting Injun, but they would proclaim that it was actually transmuting from a wolf into a human.
Yeah.
So there's the spectrum of the series, but it was what we discussed, Brent. Paranormal Portal Discord question of the week.
There you go. Very apropos. Thank you, Nase. Yeah. You know, that's something that, you know, we hadn't thought of, well, I hadn't thought of, you know, is the donning of the skin to go hunting.
Sure.
And then being shot, and then the building the myth after that. Yeah, that's very
that's a great
very
take.
likely.
Yeah. Appreciate your input, brother. I mean, I really, it's great to have the First Nations perspective on all of this as well. So I really appreciate it.
Right, but I am a hypocrite and also the stupidest entity that I know. But thank you for being able to bask in the illumination of Donnie and Brent and the chat room. It's been a while.
Wow.
So thank you for me smile and share it, because it'll go over a mile. So I'll be around for a while.
Oh my God.
Goodbye.
He's going all Eminem up in here.
He's
Nice.
all a Longfellow and stuff.
All right, brother. Have a great night. Thank you.
Wow. Yeah. So, you know, that's something that's,
That's a great take. Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know, I hadn't even considered that, but yeah, I certainly, that would have been a great hunting technique, I'm sure, because it would kill the human smell and then get you closer. All right. So this has been the Discord question of the week, everybody. Thank you for all your input. And if you like what you heard and you want to be a part of these discussions, by God, we'd love to have you be a part of them. So head over. The link is pinned to the top of the YouTube chat. So if you want to become part of the Discord, love to hear from you over there. And there's always great conversations going on there between our wonderful denizens of Discord. And so
D&D of the PNP.
the D&D of PP. Yeah. So so you're welcome to join and become a part of it.
the DD, the doubtful duo.
Might be it too, but that's not the name of the show. So, all right, guys, that's going to wrap up the Discord question of the week. Let's get on to the rest of this show. Boom.
Oh, geez. Now they're singing a Duran Duran song in the chat.
Hungry like the wolf.
Yep. Thank you, Vegas Deer Pusher. Change that song.
And I'm hungry like the wolf.
And I'm the one that's getting told, you're going to get us demonetized.
I only sang one little measure there. you
all it
go
takes.
into whole verses. And it's like, stop.
That's, I'm on the... Yes.
There's like a 15-second duration that you can't break. And once you do, copyright.
Wow.
So I need a whip sound on here. It's the co-host tamer. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. All right, so we are going to go on to some other articles of fun here.
So Jessica takes responsibility for that Duran Duran song.
Oh, yeah, I like Duran Duran. I like a few of their songs. Some of them I liked back in the day, but now
name
it's
all four of them for you.
all four.
Yeah.
I got the Duran Duran Greatest Hits CD around here somewhere.
Oh gosh.
But I love Hungry Like the Wolf. Yep. And View to a Kill was a good song. Just saying. All right, so we're going to go on to some articles here if you'd like to join us, then
Certainly.
by all means, stick around, huh?
Oh, yeah, Chucky, that's a great idea.
What?
We need a barking sound effect of a D-hole.
Somebody tell me what a D-hole sounds like.
Well, you're listening to him right now.
Oh, you were
Damn, I
talking.
knew that was going to happen.
Somebody clip that. I didn't know. All right. Yep. We need a T-shirt down that says "Don't mess with the D-hole."
Yeah, something. Yeah, we got to.
All right, so we're gonna go.
I need somebody to draw me a D-hole. Draw me your impression of a D-hole, and we'll see if it works on a shirt. Seriously. P.O. Box 227, Kootenai, Idaho 83840. Address it to me.
Are you taking over my show? What's going on here?
No, I'm getting them to send us ideas for shirts.
All right.
227, P.O. Box 227, Kootenai, Idaho 83840.
All right. So, good luck spelling Kootenai.
Kootenai. Both of you record that whip sound and use that. Thank you, Pete.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Barbara. Thank you. All right. So we're going to go to an article now from, obviously, moneyawaits.com is this site for paranormal fun. No, it's not, but it's a site that did a Reddit scrape that we're reading through. And this one is called Eerie Glitch in the Matrix Moments. And that says "beh." B-E-H. Beh. Like meh. Fa on panache. All right. That was an old MASH line. All right. Let's get to this. We're on number 10 now, and these are basically where reality kind of went on its head for people. And they're apparently from a Reddit thread, so they scraped up a bunch of these and put them in an article with normally lots of ads attached, but I've got it in the Brave browser, which tames most of that. All right, number 10, Back to the Future. I live in a very small town, and we have a small grocery store, hardware store, you know the drill. I was done getting groceries and hopped in my car to head home. As I pulled up to the end of the driveway of the store, blinker on to get to the main road, I see a big, white, lifted Chevy pickup truck driving toward me that I need to wait for. Well, I watch as it drives closer to me, remarking to myself that it looks so similar to my husband's, just older and rusted around the edges. It even has the same black emblem and large iron cross on the bumper. Excuse me, as the truck drives past me, my jaw nearly fell open. Staring at me intently was a man almost identical to my husband, but with a longer graying beard and gray hair around the ears. Well, I quickly gathered myself together and pulled out behind the truck and ended up to a stop sign that followed. Well, he was staring at me, still in his side mirror, glancing away and then staring at me again. He took off like a shot the first chance he got. And I tried to follow to see which direction he took, but a car was coming and I couldn't get out behind him in time. The truck sped off towards my road, but I don't know if he turned in that direction or not. I know it's a little crazy, but I couldn't help but feeling the total connection I feel with my husband when I saw his reflection in that side mirror staring at me. It gives me goosebumps to think about it because it was like he knew that I was me and I was the wrong age and that he needed to get out of there before I could follow him. Well, I got home and my husband was there working in his wood shop and I told him about it. He chuckled and asked if he looked hot when he was old. I mean, he did if it was really him. That was by Heckaroni.
So what if
Heckaroni, 1288.
What if it really wasn't him?
Well, then then that's a doppelganger kind of thing.
There
right?
you go. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yep. There's no call going on right now, Mom. So nope. Unknown if there's no phone call. So the lines are open. So let's go to the next one.
Good night, Naysay. Thank you for calling in, bud.
All right. Good night, Naysay.
Always
Take care,
nice
brother.
To hear from you.
Number 11, press the reset button twice.
Wow.
I'd like to preface this by saying my husband is an electrical engineer and I'm a teacher. Also, we're not crazy people. So back when my husband and I were dating, my husband was in a terrible car crash. His truck hit black ice and he slid into an oncoming traffic. His truck was completely totaled, so was the other truck he hit. The weird thing is both he and the other guy were completely fine. Not a scratch on them. All my husband had was a bruise on his knee. The first responders were baffled as were the towing company insurance when they realized no one had lost their lives or been severely injured.
Yeah, crazy.
Fast forward a few days after the crash, my husband comes over to my apartment. We're having a conversation about a university class we're both in, and he casually asks when I got the flat screen TV sitting on my dresser. At this point, I'm very confused because I've had the little flat screen since I was 13, and I'd had the entire year and a bit that we'd been dating. Sorry, I got to clear this so it quits popping up. I asked him what he's talking about, as I've always had that TV. He told me to quit pulling his leg and asked me what I did with the old tube TV. I had no idea what he was talking about and told him so.
Wrong girl.
Yeah, right, or wrong husband. He's convinced I had a tube TV. I proceeded to get on Facebook and showed him a picture we had taken 2 weeks prior with the TV in the background. It's a flat screen in the picture. His reaction was terrifying. My husband goes white like he's seen a ghost and just stares into space for a minute. His eyes started to water, and I asked him what's wrong, and he said, I swear to God, I'm not crazy. You've had a tube TV since we started dating. It was a tube TV, and we took that picture. I brushed it off as his head being rattled from the accident, and he didn't bring it up again. However, anytime we hung out in my room, he'd always look at the TV, just a little weird. Fast forward 7 years. My husband and I have been married for a few years and decide that we're ready to be parents. I'm not on birth control, and we decide whatever happens, happens. We're not actively trying, but not preventing it either. So we're on vacation in Italy, wandering around Rome, and I feel like garbage. I'd had my period the week before, and it was the worst one I've had in my whole life. Well, as we're walking around, I'm suffering from back pain, chills, and horrific cramping. And I go to the bathroom in a cafe and just hurl my guts out. Geez, I don't need all this details.
It was her time of the month.
Yeah, and menstruating heavily. Anyway, obviously I'm weirded out since I just had my period the week before. I cleaned myself up to go back to my husband and tell him I think I need a doctor. I have a pretty high pain tolerance, but this is insane. It's getting to the point where I'm having trouble walking and starting to feel pain in my shoulders. I don't want to ruin our vacation, but I'm starting to really worry. My husband is smarter than me and sees the state I'm in and says I'm visibly paler than when I went into the bathroom, so he gets me help. 20 minutes later, I'm on a stretcher being taken to the hospital. An hour after that, I get the diagnosis, and it's terrifying. I'm being prepped for emergency surgery, and the doctor tells me I have a ruptured ectopic pregnancy. I have heavy internal bleeding, and if he doesn't perform surgery, I'm not going to make it. 6 hours later, I wake up very sore and tired. The doctor tells me I'm very lucky, and if I'd had waited any longer to seek medical attention, I'd be goner. My husband stays with me in the hospital the first night and then gets a hotel for the rest of my stay. A week later, we're cleared to fly home, and I go through a grueling month of healing from the surgery. 2 months after our return, somehow my husband and I get on the topic of fires. He goes on about the dangers of kitchen fires, and I say, no need to worry, we're all set with the extinguisher in the closet. His reaction freaks me out again. He looks at me like I have 3 heads and asks me what I'm talking about. I remind him about the extinguisher in the front closet where we keep the coats. We've had it for 3 years. He insisted we buy one when we bought our house. My husband shakes his head and tells me he has no idea what I'm talking about, and we don't have a fire extinguisher. Well, I remind him about my memories of fighting about it if we really needed one, where to put it, buying it from Home Depot, and also installing it to the wall in the closet. He looks at me with confusion and tells me none of this happened. I get up, go to the front closet to show it to him, all the while cursing him for being a jerk for forgetting our 2-week fight about it, and lo and behold, no extinguisher.
Wow.
Not only is there no extinguisher, there are no holes in the wall where I know we installed it. No fresh paint. This wall has never been touched. I insist he's moved it and fixed the wall and asked why in heaven's name he would play such a stupid prank. He continues to insist we've never had one. let alone talked about getting one. This goes on for several minutes, and I'm approaching hysterics, telling him to quit playing with me. And when he finally says, now you know how I feel about that TV.
Oh.
We didn't speak about it for a long time.
Yeah.
Later, he brought up his theory that perhaps in another timeline
Yep.
or dimension or whatever you want to call it, we both actually passed after our related near misses.
Yeah.
He thinks we reset like a video game and the TV and extinguisher are glitches. I don't know if I agree with him. All I know is that I have never been so rattled in my whole life. And every time I get something out of the closet, I'm overwhelmed with this feeling of wrongness. I know it should be there, but somehow it's just not. I can't explain it. He says he'll go to his grave swearing I had a tube TV. That was by the curved writing desk.
You know, that's interesting that he's been harboring that for so long, for years, a couple of years, a few years.
Yeah.
You know, and then all of a sudden it's like, well, something happened to her, you know, near life, you know, near death experience kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that and she gets a reset too. So, yeah, craziness. Yeah.
That really is. That's pretty wild. And that's got to be a real... You okay?
Yeah, I'm just playing with cat balls.
Oh. Don, leave your balls alone during the show. I think there is something to that possibility because we've certainly discussed and talked to people
Yeah.
that their life just kind of little variances in their
Right.
life
Yeah.
since certain things happen and how they know things were one way and then they're not. And I often wonder if the Mandela effect isn't something very similar. It's just sometimes some of us just shift
Yeah.
into a very close version of our reality, almost identical, except for these little breadcrumbs that are left over. And
It's kind of like next week when we find out that Tina Turner's not really dead. We're just
she'll be releasing an album or something. It's like, whoa, what?
Just throwing that.
The Tina Turner One More Time album. What? Somebody channeling her? What's going on? Too soon? Sorry.
It's just the point. It just flows right with it. So yeah.
It does. It's pretty crazy stuff. I'm gonna just check the time, see how we're doing because we got a bunch of cryptid stuff to get to, and I think we'll probably do that now.
That's interesting. Eliza says I had a conversation about this 2 days ago. My friend said that if you die, you get shoved into another time and continue to live, but some things may be different.
Well, I think it has to do with, it's maybe not your time, but if in the case of like her having that ruptured pregnancy and
Right.
The damage was probably too profound. So the only option was to shift
Right.
into another version of herself. But then you got to wonder what happens to the person that was there.
Yeah, exactly.
Is it just kind of laying there and waiting? It's like, oh, here we go.
Well, that's like
the spare
splitting,
tire.
Yeah, the splitting of the timeline. We talked about it just a couple weeks ago. Your choices. You choose not. What if they chose not to go to Italy but Germany? What if they chose not to have kids, that they decided not to have kids, it's just a million things.
Right.
Yeah,
very interesting. Just Info says the Ghost Radar went off when Don was playing with the cat balls.
Yeah, there was a squiggly line on there.
You're pissing the ghosts off, Don.
Am I playing with your
They're
toys?
ghost balls, not Don balls.
Oh.
Don balls would be much larger. Sorry, I'm just guessing here.
Refer to what I said at the beginning of this live stream.
Oh, God. Oh, I need more sleep probably too.
Yeah.
All right, so we got a bunch of cryptid stuff to get to, so we're going to head into the cryptid corner, and I got a few from Sasquatch Chronicles coming up here. And this one was May 14th from the Sasquatch Chronicles blog. So definitely check it out. There's some great stories over there that are never made into episodes just because Wes only has so much time. So
That's true.
He gets tons of these, but at least he posts them.
Right.
And
now she's singing an AC/DC song.
no, it is, isn't it? I've got big balls. Yeah.
Yep.
You
do.
Well,
Keep them to yourself.
So I've been told. Just saying.
Have you ever seen the movie Big Daddy?
Yeah.
When they're at the end of the movie and they're talking to his ex-girlfriend, and the ex-girlfriend's got that boyfriend that's like 70 years old.
Oh yeah. Okay. Actually, it's probably more familiar with what's going on here now. But I know the boys are a little lower than they ever were, but by God, I'll just leave it there. All right.
Can you throw them over your shoulder?
Oh, okay. May 14th. This one was the shoulders were too wide to be a bear. This one sounds like a Dogman one. Listener writes, Wes, I hope all is well. I've been carrying this around, this experience for 20 years now, and hoping that what I saw in the woods while turkey hunting and hoping that what I saw in the woods while turkey hunting in the southern Indiana. Okay, I don't know. I was expecting something more there. Sorry. While sitting beside a huge poplar tree on top of the ridge of the Hoosier National Forest area of Martin County, there was that was blocking my view of anything coming to my right side. I was watching a few turkeys that were coming up from the south ridge in front of me. They were startled by something and started acting strangely. And that's when, coming from my right side, I heard some small twigs and leaves rustling around. And it was something of significant size by the sound of it. I slowly peeked around to see what it was, and the thing I convinced myself of that I saw, being a good-sized bear somehow standing in a region of the country bears aren't supposed to be. Suddenly, I realized the shoulders were way too wide to be a bear. It almost had the features of a dog. Long snout, pointy ears. In all these years, I've yet to find what I've seen that day researching bears. Only a month ago did I hear the same almost exact story from your podcast, American Werewolf. I don't know why these cold black eyes didn't choose me as its target, but now I know what I saw was a dogman or something like him. And I'm ready to release the burden of carrying this experience for good. There's more on how I managed to get away, so please contact me. And looking forward to sharing my experience. Well, I'd love to hear the rest of that story. That's got to be absolutely frightening. I can't imagine. You're out there, and he's armed. I mean, he's got a weapon, obviously, if he's turkey hunting. But, I don't know how big this thing was, or is it enough? I mean, that's the part. There's so many people that see Bigfoot as like, yeah, I had a gun, but I just didn't think it was enough.
Yeah, I had a gun, but it was full of buckshot. Not even buckshot; it was bird shot.
Yeah.
Worse than that, it was actually snake shot, which ain't worse.
Yeah. But yeah. I mean, it just makes a loud noise. But yeah, that's not good. So great story, at least start to a story, and I'm hoping to hear more about that because that's fascinating. All right,
that'd be awesome.
Let's go to the next one, and this one's from May 15th. Chimps in Missouri.
Oh, I thought it said Simps in Missouri. I was like, yeah.
They're everywhere.
They're everywhere. Careful.
A listener writes, I'm a regular listener of your show and really enjoy it. I wanted to ask you a question about a strange experience I had back around 2015. I was studying biology at UMKC in Kansas City, Missouri, and had just finished my exams. I felt like having some peace and quiet away from the city where I could spend an hour or two looking up at the stars. I drove to PROWL Springs Park in Warrensburg, Missouri, and did just that. While I was stargazing, I was alarmed because all of a sudden, all around me in the woods, I heard what I can only describe as a troop of chimpanzees screaming at each other like what you see on the Discovery Channel, except it was loud and very real. My first thought was that chimps had escaped from the zoos, so I've heard barred owls can sound kind of like that, but this sounded exactly like chimps, and lots of them, maybe 20 or so.
Wow.
And then it stopped. I also saw some strange lights in the sky, too. P.S. I don't drink or use drugs. I'm a pilot, a hunter, veteran, and a doctor. Wow.
Why is there always that caveat?
Well, because that what is the first thing people say when you say
you were drunk?
Yeah, exactly. It's the first thing what did you smoke,
What
dude?
was you drinking?
Yeah, it's like either you pop some weird pills or mushrooms or something happened, but that's the first escape that normal people have. It's like, well, what were you drinking? Were you drinking? Oh, you were drinking. Okay, well, you had 2 beers. Well, it must have affected you a little more. But yeah, I think it's just a safety net. Hey, I wasn't drinking. I'm not on drugs. I'm a doctor, a veteran, etc. And the last one from Sasquatch Chronicles blog is coming from May 17th. It just kept this weird guttural growl at us. A listener writes, I saw that there are reports for my area. I live in Chico, California, Butte County, California. And it wasn't until I listened to a recent show of a gentleman you spoke with who was from Paradise, Magalia? I don't know how do you say that. I know the area well that he spoke about, and he's correct. Unfortunately, a lot of that is gone due to the campfire that happened in 2018. It did destroy most of the entire town of Paradise and the surrounding forest area, which is unfortunate because it was beautiful. Scroll. My encounter happened in a park that locals call Upper Park at the base of a small mountain called Monkey Face. I've included some pictures so you can have an idea of the area. Oh, yeah, it kind of does look like a monkey face. Kind of, like two eyes, the big mouth. Yeah. Let's see. It says, my experience at the time I was 21 to 21 years old. And one of my friends and I, we used to love going to that park in the summer at night because it was the safest park to go to at night. The other park that's in town we would stay away from because that's where the homeless and the transients will camp all night, and it's not safe for anybody to be walking alone in that park at night. Where this park is, it's too far away from people, and the homeless are not going to walk down this road to get there at all, except us. I can't remember the exact month we went or time. Like I said, unfortunately, I know it was when I was 19 to 21 years old in the middle of summer, and it was summer enough to where the nights felt like day, and it was warm, but not hot. Sometimes there would be that perfect breeze. It was a clear sky. The moon was out, and I can't remember if it was a full moon or not, but there was enough light from the moon that we could see all around us. And we decided to go up to the observatory or the parking lot area with my friend's boyfriend, and he brought his friend. So it's myself, my girlfriend Nikki, and her boyfriend Doug, and his friend Josh. The gates to the park close at 9, so vehicles are not able to access the area. I don't necessarily know if people are allowed back there, but there's never anybody watching, so we would just go back into the park almost every night. The four of us decided we would walk down this path, and it was probably a 20 to 30 minute walk, maybe, and you're just walking in the middle of the night surrounded by trees. The entire time we'd been going up to that park, we never felt threatened by anything. We always feel safe, even with the wildlife, and most we would see is a deer. The four of us walking, Ian, about halfway through, Josh decides he thinks this is dumb and wants to go back to his car and just hang out. So myself, Nikki, and Doug, we all continue to go to the parking lot, and we decide to sit on a bench that's closest to the wood thicket. That's at the base of the mountain. So we're sitting there for hours, just hanging out, talking, enjoying the weather. After a while, we all come into a comfortable silence. And after a while, sitting in silence, we heard walking in front of us. And what was really weird is the energy shifted, not between any of us, but the energy around us shifted. While we heard this walking, we all knew the local wildlife. We've seen bears, we've seen mountain lions. We know what they sound like and what they would know what their vocalizations sound like. And what was so weird about this was it sounded like it was just a few feet away, but we couldn't see it. Like somebody just walking through the grass and the trees. Not necessarily like a casual leisure kind of walk, but not a fast, determined walking. They were just walking. And I'm sorry for putting too much detail into how they were walking, but they were definitely walking with a purpose. I sat there looking at the trees in front of me, and I couldn't see anything. It was so close. Like if I decided to go walk out to these trees, I would be 10 paces, but I couldn't see a thing. And we just continued to hear this walking, and it was just two thumps. And I say thumps because it was extremely distinctive when we were listening. I could distinctively hear only 2 feet hitting the ground. And when they would hit the ground, they would hit the ground with the thumb first, I thought it was a bear. I don't know, with the thumb. Okay. But I thought it was a bear just rummaging around in the grass.
I think it's supposed to be a thump.
Thump. Okay. But that thought quickly left because the closer I listened to it, like I said, the more it just sounded like 2 feet with a very distinctive thump on the ground. And because of the thumps, I think, you knew it was something pretty big. It was also dead silent. No birds, no cricket, no deer. Absolutely nothing made a sound, including the 3 of us. Because we were so, what the hell is in front of us walking? All of a sudden, it just stops. And the second it stops, something starts growling. And this is a growl that I've never heard in my entire life. And I've been so obsessed with animals since I was a little kid. I've never heard anything sounded like this. It wasn't a bear. It wasn't a mountain lion. It wasn't a bobcat. It wasn't a coyote. It wasn't any of those things. It was so weird. It seemed as if it was just walking along until it noticed the 3 of us just sitting in the bench area, and it stopped and started to growl. We have no idea what it was because it's like all of a sudden the wood thicket and the shadows that I was standing in became darker. And I couldn't explain that either. Like, that was part of why it was so like entranced in this encounter, because the moon was out, but the shadows were so dark. It was like the moon wasn't even there. And the tree patch that it was in wasn't necessarily a really thick tree patch. And the trees were too far away. It was like it was standing just on the border of a shadow. And if it took one step forward, we would have seen it. So it wasn't normal, because normally you would see those through those woods and you could see some sort of light at least, but not with this thing. There was no shadows. It was so dark, and this was so weird and abnormal. We had no idea and just continued to lean closer and try and see what the hell was out there. I was so nervous as hell, but I was also curious as hell, because I couldn't understand why the shadows under the trees got so dark. It was darker than your normal shadow. And I can remember I could see things past the shadows, like around it, because the patch of trees was just under monkey face rock and you can see around it just fine. But in the tree patch, it was like a wall of darkness. And the thing was so close, and it just kept this weird guttural growl at us. Then all of a sudden, Doug stands up on the bench, and he was about 6'2", so he stood straight up and put his arms at his side, puffed out his chest out. But the second he stood up, the growling stopped, and that's when he told us to get the hell out. So I was sitting on the side closest to the trees, and I believe my friend Nikki had grabbed me to pull me around the bench, because I was sitting on the side closest to the trees, and then her and I kind of linked arms, and we backed away from the bench, and we both kind of hesitant until Doug was like, leave again. And that's when I was like, okay. And once we got some distance between the benches and us, Nikki stopped and didn't want to leave Doug. I occasionally talk to Nikki about that night, and all she really says is that it was a crazy night and it was unexplainable. She doesn't really comment on what she thinks it was, and that's probably that's pretty much all she says. Doug, I never talked to about it because he and Nikki had broken up shortly after this, not because of the incidents, and I never got Josh's opinion on what he thought it was because he didn't witness anything. I found out years later because I ended up marrying Josh's older brother, and I brought this up to my husband, and he told me that Josh told him something similar about that night, because Josh also ran home and told my husband what had happened to us. I'm assuming that Doug had explained what happened to the two of them when the two of them went back to try and see if they could find tracks or anything, and they found nothing. It's a long story, but it is interesting. I have seen something like that, but it was only a glance. And it was obviously just a momentary thing. But it was when I was driving with a friend of mine, actually up here, up on Trout Creek Road, and was driving along. And and I glimpsed, like, it was a sunny day. And you know how thick the trees are up there.
Right.
I mean, it's just literally like a logging road and then walls of trees. But it's not like you can't see through, and you can see a little bit into the distance. And as we're driving, I almost stopped and rubbed my eyes. It was such a weird thing. But it's getting too hot.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
a bit steamy.
Bit steamy. But as we're driving, I could see through the trees, and it looked like a big wall of shadow moved through the trees. And it was just such a brief glimpse, and I didn't really register it too much. I was like, God, that was weird. But then my friend says, did you see that? And I was like, well, I saw something. He goes, what'd you see? And I said, well, it looked like this big wall of shadow was moving through the trees.
Oh, wow, yeah.
He's like, yeah, that's what I saw. I was like, whoa, that's weird. I didn't know what it was. I still don't know what it was, but it was just kind of an odd anomaly. So I'm not saying it's what these person experienced, but that whole dark shadow thing
Right.
kind of triggered that memory for me. And it's
Bartleby.
Bartleby. What does that sound familiar?
Dark Shadows.
I never watched that.
TV show. It was a British vampire show.
Oh,
And then,
okay.
Johnny Lee Miller, that's his name. Yeah.
Okay.
Angelina Jolie's first husband from Hackers was in it. As
Oh,
Bartleby,
right.
the new one. Yeah.
I like that movie Hackers back in the day. It was good.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to go. Let's see. What do we got for time?
Yeah. 25 minutes.
Oh, okay. We're good. All right, so we're going to do a couple from the confessionalspodcast.com.
Never heard of her.
Oh, well, it's Mr. Tony Merkel and his wife's site. Merkel Media's site. This one is this is kind of a cool story. I'd never heard of this one, but it comes from the confessionalspodcast.com. Special thanks to Wes, by the way, for letting us use Sasquatch Chronicle stories, and special thanks to Tony for letting us use the Confessionals podcast. But here it is, news from May 15th, 2023. Missouri airmen claimed they were ambushed by dogmen, but kept their encounter secret for decades.
No way.
Just way, Don.
Is that WHEY? Way.
Boy, the font is really small. I thought I blew it up, but I gotta vent this a little more. There we go. Now it's readable. All right. Imagine not only running into a monster in the woods, but then keeping that horror secret for decades. Back in 1993, an Air Force security specialist and his team encountered another team, quote, in the trees of Knob Noster State Park.
Sure.
A team of dogmen. Only recently have they revealed what had happened. All right, so here it is. The Missouri airman claims he was ambushed by dogmen in a state park. You might want to sit down for this one. It's the tale of an airman stationed in Missouri who claims that he was ambushed by a pack of dogmen in the state park 30 years ago. This is not a tall tale, but one he swears is absolutely true. According to the story that's been shared on YouTube, Ken was stationed at
1758.
1758. My God, it was a fine year. I don't know, whatever 1758 is.
Well, you know me. I'm going to look it up.
Donna, look it up. I'm going to keep reading. It was stationed at Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri in 1993. Knob Noster State Park is located very near the Air Force Base, and that's where this encounter happened in October of 1993. Ken was an Air Force security specialist, which is an especially big deal at a base where the B-2 stealth bombers are. During overnight hours at around 1:30 a.m., he and his three-man team were in the trees and about to go to a new position during training. They detected an awful smell, and they figured it was a nearby chicken farm that was responsible. On this occasion, they were wrong. Ken and his team had taken cover in the woods, but had night vision capabilities, and they spotted red eyes in the distance about 8 feet off the ground. Well, they thought it might be an owl, but it wasn't. The eyes belonged to a creature he had never seen before. It looked like a large wolf, but standing over 8 feet tall and standing on his back legs. The dog man was watching them, and it wasn't alone. All the men detected that there were creatures behind them, too. The one in front had been distracting them while the others flanked their team from the rear. They quickly made an escape before the beasts could close in. The men agreed to keep this incident secret while they were in the service so as not to jeopardize their careers. Now that they've retired, they can now detail their story. They've wondered if the creatures were attracted to the Indian mounds in the Knob Noster State Park area. That part is unclear, and what they do know is none of them had seen any creature like that previous or since the night they were ambushed by dogmen near Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri. Are our national parks full of dogmen and Bigfoot? What do you think? That's a great question. Maybe that'll be another question of the week, because I think there's merit to the suggestion. But I gotta imagine that would be about just as horrible a feeling as ever, knowing that you've been distracted by one while the others flank behind you. I mean, isn't that horrible?
Yeah.
I think it's.
Anytime you're not sure where things are coming from, and they end up coming from behind.
Yeah,
you're hearing that. It's crazy. Yeah.
That's got to be horrible, and especially to see some 8-foot dog man.
Yeah.
And knowing that the other sounds you're hearing are probably more of them. They didn't say they saw the rest of them; they just heard them coming behind as this one was distracting them. So. It's crazy. Even wolves are very, they're very strategic. Mm-hmm. Normal wolves, the way they hunt in packs and the way that they take care of their, taking down prey. But it's just, the whole flanking strategy.
Right.
It's like, God, that is just frightening. And the ability and the speed and the strength and the lethality. I mean, if they were doing that, they were probably moving in to make those guys not come back.
Right.
I mean, that's what you got to assume. I don't know. Again, according to our friend Vic, they don't normally attack people, but sounds like they were moving in.
Right.
I don't know what for. Just recon. Here's one from May 19th, 2023 from the Confessionals. Written confession. Crawling the grudge girl on the mirror. Here you go, Don.
Yeah, that movie was, it was creepy.
Right, but it's based on a real legend.
Yeah.
To some degree. I mean, it's, the based on thing is often loosely attributed to any truth, but, the whole Samara looking thing is quite a common legend, especially in Asia. Well, let me preface this by saying I don't hallucinate, nor am I psychotic. Well, they didn't touch drugs.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, they
didn't talk about drugs or drinking, Don.
Well, you got to take the drugs to stay non-psychotic.
This has been bothering me since it happened a couple years ago. Oh, wow. That's pretty recent. Before this incident, I used to leave my door to my room open, which has a full-length mirror fastened to it. Excuse me. I went back upstairs one afternoon, the beard oil.
Yeah.
One afternoon to grab something for my room. The lights were off upstairs, but it was still daylight outside. So there was a sufficient amount of light coming in through the windows. So as I was walking the last few steps up to the 3rd floor, I glanced into the mirror that was on my open door, and it appeared that behind me, crawling up the stairs, was a pale, thin girl wearing either a dirty white dress or oversized t-shirt. She had long, stringy black hair, and that was greasy and plastered across her head, so that I couldn't clearly see her face. You know what? She did. She totally looked like something straight out of The Grudge. Of course, I turned around to look down behind me, and there was nothing there. No one there. I haven't left my door open since. I like to think that I was just imagining things, as I never saw anything before or after this event. Well, there's the one-offs that we find on, the one-off events.
Right.
They aren't consistent activity. Like some people will experience these bizarre, strangely bizarre one-off events. Like it could be one night of just all hell breaking loose and then nothing afterwards. Like these transient spirits come in and raise hell and then they leave.
Right.
Or something. And I don't know what's going on there. It's hard to understand, but it makes you wonder if there isn't these wandering spirits. If they can get in, then they'll torment the people there for a while. If they don't like it, they'll just move on to another place.
Right.
Maybe it didn't like this person's home, which is in their favor, of course. But that is creepy.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd ever want to look in a mirror and see some greasy,
No.
smudged out girl coming up behind me on the stairs.
That's, the blurry thing.
Yeah.
Disconcerting too.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, ugh.
Is it just moving like that?
I don't know. She said crawling up the stairs too. It wasn't like,
Yeah.
it wasn't just walking up the stairs like, hey, we're coming up, got to use the bathroom. It was crawling up behind her, was stalking her.
It's all about that 24 frames per second thing.
It might be.
Oh my God.
You
that's
might
crazy.
actually be onto something there, because what if something is just out of phase,
Yeah.
and you need more frames per second
Yeah.
in order to catch it?
Sure, absolutely.
So
that's why we can't get a good picture of Bigfoot either.
Maybe, but why do pets notice spirits? Maybe they're able to see in those extra frames.
Yeah.
Things that we can't
The
observe.
things in the in between.
But we would need like an active pineal gland or something.
Sorry, that would be the spaces between.
The spaces between.
That's Paisley's show.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
But yeah, that's an interesting thought. I mean, what if that's why we can't see these or perceive them as well as we should?
Right.
And they become blurry,
Right.
or they have these, persistence of vision issues. Like you talked about the slot issue, the slot.
Oh yeah.
The slot.
There is each one of our eyes has a blind spot, and it's actually pretty pronounced, but our brain fills it in.
Right.
But if you go to like a science museum, oftentimes they have that set up where there's dots.
Right.
There are 2 dots that are up on a wall, and they're like, okay, stand here, and those dots will disappear, and sure enough, they do, and it's like they're just gone.
Right.
It's like magic, and it makes you think. And actually, there was an episode of the X-Files that there was this supernatural kind of killer guy, and he knew how to position himself in that blind spot all the time. So people were just dropping dead. They didn't even know it was coming. Meanwhile, he's in that blind spot moving in. So
I don't remember that one. I remember Soft Light was Tony Shalhoub.
I don't
And
know.
that was yeah. So I'll have to go back and look at that one. But
Yeah.
1758 was the middle of the 7 Years' War, which we know as the French Indian War.
Oh, okay.
So interesting thought there. As a matter of fact, something you read at the time, you were reading something. It was kind of apropos to that, but I forgot what the hell it was.
Oh, okay.
Because that's my ADD going off there.
Well, I was talking about the burial mounds in Slobby Knob or
Oh no, floppy knob.
whatever that park was. I don't know. It's like, I'm trying to remember a word, Don, and I got to grab at something.
Don't grab that one.
I'm just grabbing at something.
That's a bull, not a cow.
Oh, dear God. Yeah,
Do you
guys.
practice bullshido?
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, Bushido.
Bullshido.
Okay. All right. So that was a couple articles from the confessionals. Now we're going to move on to Phantoms and Monsters.
Cheap and easy ghost somethings.
Huh?
Oh, yeah. It said something about cheap and easy ghost something.
Oh, in the chat?
No, on the ad that popped
Oh,
up.
the ad that did pop up? Yeah, this is the Bray browser. It usually knocks all of them off.
We just had a door shut in the house and everyone is accounted for. Wow, Chucky Danger is experiencing danger.
Ooh, I got to tell you guys, and I need to make this very clear. Ever since I've started doing this show, it doesn't happen often, but I'll get emails from people like, I don't know what it is about your show, but when I watch your show, things get around my house get weird. And we're not doing any investigating tonight, so it's not. And this has been taking place since long before I ever did any investigating on the show. I get these emails like this one person wrote about how this picture kept jumping off their wall as they were listening to my show. Several times, they would turn on my show, and soon enough that picture would fall and hit the floor. It's like, yeah, I don't know what that is, and I think it has to do with the fact that we're all thinking about this stuff very hard. I really think, if it's something I'm doing, my God, let me know, because I don't want to do anything to encourage any activity out there for you guys. But I will say that I think that when, there's an old adage, if you're looking for something, you might find it or it might find you, and I think in terms of spiritual stuff, that can often be the case. That, you know, it's a magnetism. There's an old mystic idea in the Renaissance of magical and occult practices that had to do with magnetism. And as the idea that, you know, if you magnetize yourself, it's kind of the same stuff.
1560.
1560.
Go get it done. But you know, if you focus your intent on something enough, then you may become a beacon of sorts to those things.
Leap year.
It was a leap year. Okay. So, Just Info Arsonist says, just a few minutes ago, I've been on the couch watching the show, and one of my cats were digging around behind my back, and I turn around, and there's a centipede on the couch. Ooh, that's creepy. Yeah. I had a really interesting experience with centipedes, and it's I've shared it on the show, but it was long ago. So I used to live in an old Victorian house. It was built in 1894, and it had the old limestone block basement. It looked like a dungeon. It really did. But I would get these centipedes in there. They were huge. They were, good, 3-4 inches long, and they had the big, long, spindly legs. Like the legs would all come up and then go down. And then there was this body in the middle, and they had these pinchers and stuff, and they freaked me out. And I at first, I was so freaked out by them, and I would just smash, get them out of here. I don't want to, whatever. But then I was like, you know what? And I don't mean to be all flowery and stuff, but I think I just had this epiphany, like, you know what? If it's alive, then it was meant to be. And it's not up to me to erase it. Unless it's a mosquito, they're dead on sight. I don't care. I have no mercy for mosquitoes. But I was like, I had one in my kitchen, and it was, I turned on the light and it started scurrying, and it kind of did circles and stuff. I'm like, oh, and I'm thinking, well, it has a right to live.
Oh, wow. Okay,
hold on. It has a right to live. And I'm like, okay. So I just put my hand down on the ground and I said, I know you're a created being, and I just want to help you. And I swear to God and everything that's holy, suddenly this centipede that's doing crazy circles, like trying to get away, stops, walks into my hand and sits there. And I go outside and let it out, and it was done. I was so blown away by that. It's something so stupid and so little, but it was such an incredible moment of like, yeah, if you honor life, and I don't know, take from it what you will. I don't mean to impress that, I've got anything more sorted out than anyone else, but I just love that story because it was like, you see a spider, smash it. You see a centipede, smash it. Mosquitoes, definitely. I don't care. they are terrible little insects.
Right.
But anyway, I just had to share that. Go ahead.
Guess who was born in 1560?
Who?
Elizabeth Bathory.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was a creepy lady.
That creeped me out when I read that. I was like, wow, that's just insane. Either August 7th or 8th, 1560. Died in 1614.
Oof. Okay.
Yeah. Let's see. There was something else. The Treaty of Edinburgh is signed by Scotland and England in that year. The Roman Catholic Church is overthrown, and Protestantism is Scottish Reformism Parliament established as the national religion of the Kingdom of Scotland, Kingdom of Scotland, known as Scotland. So they turned Protestant at that time. Huh. So interesting things happened in 1560.
I guess they did, Don.
Yeah.
Wow. There's all kinds of fun going on here. I don't know. It's, again, I've not found much relevance to the ghost radars spitting out of words, but sometimes it does raise interesting facts. So
it does, yeah.
I don't necessarily believe that we're being visited by the Bath Lady, but...
The Bath Lady.
What was her name again?
The Bathory.
Elizabeth Bathory?
Elizabeth Bathory,
yeah. So
she was the one that bathed in the blood of virgins.
Yeah, I know. She was a horrible, twisted soul. But anyway, yeah, sorry. Somebody said I'm a centipede whisperer.
Yeah.
And I don't, I don't know. It was just kind of a cool thing because the thing went right from, yikes, get away, get away, get away. And then it just kind of stopped and just walked into my hand. It was like right after I just, kind of said, hey, I just want to help you. And it was really cool. I don't know, just a dumb little thing, but it was huge to me because, it just made me realize that everything has some kind of consciousness. And so, I don't know. Anyway, what time is it, Don? It is 53. My
53, wow.
God. I guess we're about out of time.
Luna Moonicorn says we were talking about her on a show a while back. About who? About Elizabeth Bathory?
Boy, I don't remember that. I mean, it would have been a long time
We've
ago.
probably talked about her a couple times. But
Yeah, through the 7 years. Yeah. That is an intense year. You're right, Jess. So, I don't know. What about all these cryptids, Don? What do you think?
I think that some are more believable than others.
Okay.
D-holes are real.
Don't mess with the D hole. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, they'll get you in the A-hole. Did you almost spit?
Almost.
Dang it. Dang it.
Yeah. I wasn't deep enough yet to actually have to spit, but it was like, I was able to push it out my nose. Without the fluid. So, we're going to have to do new shirts with the D hole. I'll have to come up with a design.
Yeah,
That'd be fun.
we'll figure something out.
We'll figure out something if some of you are looking for the D hole. It's
Never mind.
God, I was just about to go absolutely stupid. But I remember this is a family show. Oh my God. You wouldn't realize the things that go through my head that I can't say. I you guys already get the real twisted version of us, but the things that we don't say. Because
you should hear the before and after shows. Wow.
Oh my God, you guys would just lose your faith in us completely. No, I'm just kidding. We just like to have fun, and we're glad that you guys are here to have fun as well. This stuff is creepy enough. I mean, it doesn't need dark and brooding voices and theatrics and
like
stuff.
Dark Waters.
Well, yeah. I mean, Dark Waters. I mean, he's just kind of like your neighbor or something. He's just real down to earth, I think. But some people are real theatrical with their shows.
Paranormal Portal pack of D-holes.
I don't think that's a flattering title, Luna.
Join the pack. D-holes unite.
I can't even say pee holes though, because that's just horrible. Because that was what came to my head. I was like, well, portal is the P, and I was like, oh no. It's so
funny.
sad that the letter P evokes such
Silliness.
stupidity, I guess. I don't know, but anyway, Paranormal D hole. That'll be my new spin-off show.
Yeah, no doubt.
I don't know, Don. Did you have a good time tonight?
Of course I did.
And can you tell people about the merch?
You mean like, the Teespring stuff?
Yeah.
Where you can use Our Friends as a promo code to get 15% off your order?
Since we got a couple minutes before we're done with the show.
Ah, look at that. He's going to share.
Absolutely. Got to have visuals. Got to have graphics, Don.
Yep.
So let's put it up there. Here you go, folks. Here is the Paranormal Portal Teespring site if you want to get some.
I got to take down those gators. And
Yeah,
stuff.
take down the gators and anything that's not really moving. We got to get some new designs up and rolling.
Yeah.
Just one that says white Paranormal Portal on a black T-shirt. I don't want to do that one.
Okay.
Just the normal logo, just to throw it out there.
That's easy. Yeah.
And let's keep loading more, and you can see all of the offerings here. Some of them people like, and others haven't been touched really. But it's all a crapshoot. We just we just come up with ideas. Here's one on the Portal podcast. Mm-hmm. God, why is it disappearing?
Because it's showing you the back.
Oh, the back.
Yeah, when it flips to the backside.
There you go. There's one Paranormal Portal podcast T-shirt.
I really like that.
I thought it turned out pretty good too. It was possibly going to be the logo, but then we just went with the normal. But yeah, I still think this is pretty cool. Turned out pretty good. But if you want a T-shirt, this is Paranormal Portal podcast. By God, we love it. Can we do it on black if I invert those colors? And make it white.
Yeah, that would be.
lettering?
That's the problem. Is I didn't have an inverted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll have to pull up that file and do a negative copy of it and cut it out. But yeah, I think that would look good on black with the white lettering too.
I agree.
So this is there, folks. This is the Paranormal Portal Teespring site. There's a mug there. Be good, be kind, be nice. Take care of each other, help each other out. Find the magic and laughter in every day. So It's kind of the closing of every show.
I kind of had to abbreviate it.
I know. You only have so many letters.
It's
and
truncated.
It's truncated, but
Kinda
it's
like my boxer's nose.
I thought you were talking about your underwear. You said boxers, and I was like, oh, nose.
No,
okay.
That's
yeah.
extra long.
Yep. And stickers. There's stickers. Yeah, we'll get these things out of here.
Yeah.
Nobody's doing those no more. Thank goodness.
That's not true.
Well, I mean, if you're in bad air or something. Don made these bucket hats. These are pretty cool. Ready for summer, folks. Look at that. It's got the Paranormal Portal rocker design that Don came up with. Yep. That turned out really nice.
Thank you.
And then under the brim, it says Paranormal Portal. So we'd love for you guys to, help support the show. We're going to continue to develop new designs and stuff. If you have a design you think might work, by all means, we're welcoming submissions, as Don said. So, but I think it's a lot of fun. I mean, it's something. I know we've sold some T-shirts and stuff, and some of you out there are wearing them. And thank you so much for that support. That really means the world. And thank you to all the super chatters. That means the world. And a special thank you to those of you who have decided to become members of our YouTube audience. That's wonderful. All of that helps to keep the lights on here. I mean, this is largely a labor of love. So
Maggie says I've been wearing my Paranormal Portal hoodie.
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
Because it's still kind of cold over there.
It's
getting cold, actually.
Yeah, it's kind of the opposite. I can't feel bad because when we were frozen here, you were basking in the sunlight, and it's our turn.
Oh,
so.
RJ Windwalker says ordered the one with the grays on it the other day. Nice.
Oh, very cool. Thank you, brother.
Nice.
I appreciate it. I really appreciate it. All that support goes a long way to help us do things like get to conferences, get to, do some investigations, which are going to be coming.
We get around.
Paul.
Paul, like the movie, the Alien, the movie?
Yeah, it says Paul.
Paul, the Alien movie, yeah.
Paul. P-A-U-L, but it's got a small P. No, Don, God. Oh. I gotta remember I'm working with somebody that's got a gutter mind.
I told you what Paisley's daughter looked at me and said the other day, right? She looks up and she goes, "Why are you so broken?" Jesus. Oh, that's crazy.
That's true.
Yep.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, I think this is going to wrap it up for us.
Rachel says it's cold. Small P is normal.
I got a turtle head poking out.
Oh, no. Oh, horrible.
Oh, we're probably all going to hell. But anyway, we'll be in good company. So
That's true.
just like that song. But anyway,
Do I have to drive that bus, by the way?
Don, I don't know. You'd be like the commander of the Love Boat on that one, Captain Stubing.
It's not Stubing. Never mind.
Never mind, Don. Still a family show for now.
That's okay.
All right, but that's going to wrap it up for what we can do tonight, guys. Hope you had a good time. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for liking and sharing. And if you're new, subscribe. We'd love to have you stick around and become part of our weekly shows. We do Wednesday, Friday, Saturday night, 7 p.m. I'll be back on Friday with Sheldon. And then Saturday, I'll be here alone. So I'd love to have your company. So anyway, those are the shows coming up for Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. And please, if you haven't, check out our podcast. That is released every Monday, and you can find it on all the major platforms for podcasts, or you can check out the playlist right here on YouTube. It's Paranormal Portal podcast episodes, and it has all of our most current season 4 episodes. If you like them, go back and onto the other platforms and check out the first 3 seasons.
There you go.
Season 1 was like 150 some episodes because we did 3 a week.
That was just mind-numbing.
I know.
It was soul-sucking.
Oh,
I couldn't believe we did a whole year.
That and 7 shows a week on YouTube.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I was burning it on both ends,
Yeah,
man.
and I was helping out on 5 of those shows and episodes. Yep. Wow.
So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to wrap it up for us. So remember, we love you all. Be good, be kind, be nice. Take care of each other, help each other out. Find the magic in every day, and remember to laugh as much as you can. And we'll see you on the next edition of the Paranormal Portal. I was going to say version, but it's all
There's only one version.
There's only one version. This is it. It doesn't get any better. So
Suckers. Love you all.
all right, guys. Good night. Take care, and we'll talk to you soon.
Good night.